Is this a party? What are we drinking here?
Lemonade.
Ah, lemonade.
That may have been spoiled and fermented.
Sounds delicious. Are you going to share?
No.
All right.
Not everybody takes their Valtrex. Google it and you'll get the joke. Herpes. It's a herpes joke.
That's how we're starting this panel? The herpes joke?
You expected Shake's fucking beer?
I was kind of maybe...
Get it? Shake's fucking beer? Get it?
I'm good. I got it. Or maybe The Crucible. But that's okay.
Yeah. I did that play. I did a play.
I know. I did my research.
Oh, look at you.
I know.
That was you outside my window.
How could you... Was it the hair?
I didn't want to give away my sources, but Russian hackers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now we're getting political. From beer to herpes to politics. Anyway, as any...
All within like 2 minutes.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Well, now you sound like my prom date.
Really? Oh, Brian.
Sorry.
I feel like we're getting pretty comfortable up here.
Oh, yeah.
So how has Raleigh been for you so far on day number 1?
Day number 1's been good. I got into town yesterday afternoon, had something to eat over at the Park View Bar and Grill down not far from here, actually, like 2 blocks away.
Are they paying for that plug?
No, not at all. It was good food. It was just good food.
That's good.
Raleigh is a good food town. Last time I was in Raleigh was a while ago, but I came down to see a New York Rangers Hurricane hockey game. Yeah.
One guy.
Or
2 now.
Now, a Ranger fan, okay, good. I was to say Ranger or Hurricane fan because it's hard. Apparently it's hard to find Hurricane fans down here. I know they're in the process of selling the team, but the new owners are thinking about saying they are going to keep him here in town. I think they said something that the moonshine is worth it or something like that.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. I've been enjoying it. It's been a really busy day today, especially the beginning of a con, that opens at 12 on a Friday. I was like, wow, there's a lot of people with no jobs that can come. This is awesome.
And I'm one of them.
There you go, see?
And now I get to share the stage with you.
Right on.
And it's pretty awesome having you here, of course, from one of my favorite movies, Clerks.
Right on.
What an easy applause. Let's try it again. Clerks.
Yeah, there's easier ways of getting applause. Like, what's up, Raleigh? Yeah.
Clerks.
They're like, we're tourists. We don't even belong here. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Really?
No, them.
Oh, them. Oh, I was like, no, you're supposed to be here, I hope. No, way over the head. So what's it like being part of such an iconic film?
First of all, I'm truly blessed that the film caught on. I mean, when we were making the film, there was no way that I would say, this is going to go to film festivals, do really well, and then people from all over the globe are going to start screaming, try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. That wasn't the plan going into this. I was an actor doing a lot of theater in New Jersey at the time. One theater company was renting out their stage for this young local filmmaker to audition for his upcoming film. I fit the age range of the genre film that it was supposed to be. I auditioned as an extra. He liked what I did. If anybody has the Clerks 10-year anniversary, the Clerks X version of the film, you'll see all the auditions for most of the people who are in the film. And I lucked out. But it was up to Kevin, Scott, and Dave Klein, the 3 guys who they all met at the Vancouver Film School, that had the forethought to, fuck it, we're going to take this film, we're going to submit it into film festivals, and we're going to get things, see what happens. And one gentleman who saw the very first screening of it by the name of Bob Hawke was our guardian angel to recommend it to other people, because there was like 20 people in the audience for our first screening, and 10 of which were us, if not 12 of us were us. And so it was good that he saw it and recommended it, and we went from there and went to Sundance and stuff. So since then, it's been a true blessing. Kevin's been really cool and loyal to people who've been loyal to him. I was allowed to be a part of and asked to be a part of Mallrats, then Chasing Amy, and then Dogma, and yeah.
There we go. That's really good.
You have 4 of the cast members of Mallrats here this weekend. You got myself and Joey Lauren Adams and Jay Muse, of course, he's getting in later tonight, and Michael Rooker, who's here again tomorrow. Joey Lauren Adams, awesome, hot chick, very beautiful, smart. Director, and now she's on Still the King on Country Music Channel, which is a huge hit for them, so good for her. People are tweeting me. What's going on?
Is that a literal tweet? Is that what it is?
No, it's not. It's a tweet, but it's,
Are you going to share?
You know who it is? Yeah, it's Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario Brothers.
Okay.
And he's 2 tables away from me. And I texted him. I was like, hey, look to your right, look to your left. Well, he's got a huge line. He's like, what? And he's like, yippee! And he's like, oh. We went to 2 cons in Australia. And 2 weeks in Australia was a lot of fun. And he's a very fine dining type of guy. Like, he likes finding really fancy and really good kind of restaurants and stuff, and talks our way into getting like special things you normally don't see on the menu. Yeah, so it was a fun time with him. So he just texted me just now, like, how are you? And I didn't text him back, like, I'm in a panel, you pain in the ass. Stupid Bowser.
We have to tell him we all said hi.
Yeah.
So obviously you travel a lot, you do these conventions. What would you say has been the craziest fan experience that you've had at a convention?
First of all, I forgot to do a warning. If you're a fan of mine, you see I'm in movies that are mostly, if not all, rated R, with different subject matters and things that are talked about that might not be appropriate for some people. So if you have youth or someone you don't want to hear certain things, you may want to just be aware that you may have a lot of questions on the car ride home.
It's too late for that.
So usually I go, if you're here and you're offended, well, you're shit out of luck. You know what I mean? So hit the fucking door. No, I'm just kidding. But there was a thing that Kevin used to throw called Vulgarthon, which is a film festival that Kevin used to throw in Red Bank, where he has his comic book store where the Comic Book Men show is shot and stuff like that. And Vulgarthon was films that he produced or he wrote or he did, and other friends who could screen these films. And so we were there, and this one guy came in, and it was myself and Brian Johnson from a movie called Vulgar and a whole bunch of others, and we were just doing signings for people as they bought tickets to come in. And one guy came in, I swear to God, and he was like, I want you to sign this. I'm like, sure, what do you need? He pulls out of his bag this 2-foot-long African-American dildo.
Thank you for being so specific.
Well, it is. So, because it's 2 feet, come on. So, that's right.
Yeah, that guy.
I am not going to lie on this one. This ain't no fake news. So I literally took the Sharpie, and from a distance, like, here, I'm like, no, you hold it. It's cool. I signed it, right, and took a photo with it, like, Years go by. I make a film called Miss December. It's an independent film, shot it in Philly. Waiting for one of the setups on set, talking to one of the associate producers, and he's like, do you remember me? And I was like, hey, well, I'm sure I met you. What's up? I was like, I was at Vulgarthon. I'm like, oh, I met hundreds of people at Vulgarthon. Good to see you again. He goes, yeah, but I had you sign something of mine. I'm like, okay. He's like, do you remember someone asking you to sign a dildo? And I was like, that is you? It's like, yeah. I was like, and now you're a film producer. This is weird. I said, so where is and what happened to the dildo? He goes, I don't know. I lost it. And I was like, in who did you lose a 2-foot dildo?
You'd be surprised.
Or did you do some girl wrong and she's like, and I'm taking this with me? Like, I don't get it. So that was one of the weirdest fan experiences, I would think.
Well, someday somebody's going to find a 2-foot dildo with your name on it.
Yeah, right.
Probably going to be a little...
That sounded weirder than it did, didn't it? There's a 2-foot dildo out there with your name on it.
It was a threat.
It does. It sounds like a threat. Like some twisted mob boss. Instead of a drill, he's like, there's this 2-foot black dildo with your name on it. And when I find it... I'm going to show it to you.
Well, if anyone has it, I definitely would like to see it.
Hashtag 2-foot black dildo.
Are we trying to trend here?
No,
today,
I don't know.
Because we can.
That just reminded me of a moment of like John Oliver on Last Week Tonight, where he was just like, hashtag 2-foot black dildo.
I say we start a trend here at Raleigh Supercon.
Oh, no.
People are going to be very confused at that one.
Everybody will be like, what does Brian O'Halloran have to do with a 2-foot black dildo? And then some people will be like, I knew it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you knew it? What does that mean?
Well, anyway, we do have a microphone set up.
This was a different interview you thought it was going to go, didn't you?
Nope, this is exactly what I was hoping for. So.
We do have a microphone, that is true, for anybody who wants to do some cues for us to A.
Now is the time. Clearly, nothing is off limits here. We've already discussed valve tracks.
I think the valve, yeah, exactly. Herpes and dildos, come on now.
Oh, yeah, well, there we go.
And openly drinking fermented lemonade.
Wink.
They don't have the fermented lemonade over here, so I had.
That's why I got it before I came.
I had to get Angry Orchard.
I had to sneak it up.
So what can you say about Jeff Anderson and Clerks 3 not happening?
It's a painful subject that I only knew one side of a story for the longest time. If people don't know, for the longest time, a couple of years ago, Kevin was like, we're going to do a Clerks 3, and he started writing the script. We all got the scripts. It's a really great script. And then the producers that were brought in to make this version of Clerks were not the same producers that we had before, and they got into the negotiations of contracts and stuff like that, and came back with something that wasn't really suitable, and it kind of offended Jeff and myself, and we knew that we could. I thought we'd get back into a back and forth. That's what negotiation's about, and it kind of fell through. And Jeff, in doing so, kind of burned bridges with like, fuck this, fuck you, fuck this whole project. I didn't even want to do this film, kind of thing. And it was gotten to a level where, that's his personal choice. I would have thought it better to just come back and say, look, they don't know us, they don't know what this is really about, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of was delayed with a lot of back and forth that didn't go anywhere, to the point where the producers who wanted to do the film said, look, if this isn't a go, the money that was earmarked for this film, we're putting to another project, so we got to move on. And so it moved on. And in the meantime, Kevin's like, fuck this, I'm going to write a Mallrats sequel, which Universal then said, look, make it into a TV series because we don't want to do a film sequel. And that's what he did. He did a 10-part miniseries, treatment that he then shopped around to different TV shows, studios and streaming networks, but no one, as of right now, no one has greenlit that project. Now, the thing about television and streaming is you could pitch once and everybody goes, no, not really for us. And it could sit, and then somebody gets into that position of making the decision, like, it'd be great, with this huge hit that he just had, this Jay and Silent Bob reboot that we're going to be shooting in September. Exactly. If the success of that does really well, so you all go and see it in theaters 25 times at a minimum to drive up the box office, that'll get him going like, well, there's that other Kevin Smith project that he pitched us, a TV show. Why don't we bring him back for that? So it may still happen, that part. The Clerks 3 thing, I don't know. I recently saw Kevin last month up in Niagara Falls, and I got a rare opportunity to sit down and talk to him for a good 35 minutes. And I pitched other alternatives of going along, maybe without Kevin, which he was like, it's not the same. It's kind of like the band members, 4 band members, once one of them drops out, it's not the same band again, type of thing. And I respect that, and I respect his loyalty to the project in that sense as well. So we'll see, but yeah, it was Jeff's decision to want to pull out of it. So it's like a 2-foot black dildo that you really aren't expecting.
You're just not.
But that one doesn't have my name on it.
What's your name?
My name's Liam. One of my questions is, and my only question is, what would be the craziest experience you had making Clerks?
The original?
Yes.
The weirdest experience making the original Clerks. There was really nothing weird. We all had regular jobs. And then at night, I would get done with my day job at 5 o'clock, go home, sleep until like 9:30 a.m. or 9:30 p.m., get up, shower, shave, go down, find something to eat, drive the hour south. I was living an hour away from where the store is and still exists today in Leonardo. And then we would shoot from like 10:30 until about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning at the store. Then help Kevin once again open the store and then do that whole routine again. And we did that for like 20-something days. And then a couple of daylight shoots for the hockey scene, anything that was outside that needed daylight, the funeral scene, things like that. I wouldn't call it weird. It was just the subject matter alone of what we discussed was very weird. Snowballing and, contractors on the Death Star, things like that. I mean, we always had someone always trying to think that the store was open because they saw the lights on in the store. So the whole, you open, which Kevin says a lot in the film, was a real thing that happened while we're trying to film. We get people who just wanted to buy cigarettes, or just stoners who were just like, hey man, you got burritos? Just random shit. So that was the weird thing about it. That was always odd. you know, there was people who come in like, hey, you guys making a music video? Or someone coming in, you guys making a porn? You know, which eventually someone did make a porn version of Clerks, which I always thought was funny, but it was female. It was like Randy instead of Randall. It was two chicks. It was funny.
What was it called?
I think it was like Clerks the porn parody or something like that. It was weird.
That's a little disappointing in the title.
Yeah, but it's lesbian, so it makes up for it. I'm just saying, as a heterosexual male, I'm just saying it was fun for me.
So you just mentioned the Death Star, and obviously, Kevin, a fan of Star Wars. Are you a fan of Star Wars as well?
Oh, God, yeah. I think I drained my parents' like measly paycheck weekly with every time we would go to we lived in the Bronx at the time in New York City, we would go to the Woolworths and I would be like, I need to buy all 17 of these, action figures and buy every kind of bullshit toy they made at that time. And so, yeah, I was I came back watching that movie. We lived in the Bronx, but we went out to New Jersey to this really big cinema in Paramus, New Jersey to see Star Wars in 70 millimeter too, which is what they consider, I guess, IMAX now. And it changed my life to when I was going home with my two older brothers. I have an older brother who's 6 years older, and another brother who's 9 years older than me, going like, when I'm ready to drive, I'm gonna have a land speeder. Still waiting for that fucking land speeder. Like, really? You can't get a car to hover this goddamn far off the damn road? Man, we are a slow-ass country where we can't even get that. Like, the monorail in Japan, I think, does that with maglev technology. Why can't we, have maglev paint lines that we all click into? And, that's future talk. I'm getting all nerdy now. But yeah, I was a big Star Wars fan, to answer your question.
That definitely answered my question.
Yeah.
So are you looking forward to the Han Solo spin-off that's happening?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I personally, I'd rather see, the Boba Fett movie. And I think the Boba Fett origin story, I mean, obviously we saw it from the Attack of the Clones and all that stuff, but I think his bounty hunting years would be great, and I think they should shoot it exactly like Dog the Bounty Hunter. I could totally see Boba Fett going like, go get him, Greedo! You know how Dog used to always say, go get him, Beth!
Is he going to have a big-breasted woman?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of Jabba the Hutt kind of thing that they could do multiple boobs
I love
on.
This.
Yeah.
Oh my
See, that's
God.
the movie I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Han Solo, the movie's going to be great. How does Woody Harrelson fit in? I have no idea. It'll be interesting.
And Ron Howard directing it, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, but Ron Howard has directed some epic movies, so that part of it, I have no problem with it, to be honest with you. I have no problem with any of the films, to be honest with you. The only thing that really kind of disappointed me was the Force Awakens. I thought that was a little disappointing, only because it's a bit of a rehash of Jedi and everything else. I mean, I talk about this at cons all the time, and this will probably take me 5 minutes to 7 minutes to explain, but imagine being in the meeting, the pitch meeting, to go, okay, I know we fucked up twice. The reason was we didn't go big enough. I say we build the Death Star, but bigger. Instead of building it and wasting all that steel, making an actual planetary-sized type of weapon, let's just stick 2 fucking giant engines on a back of a small goddamn asteroid or something with a big cannon-y thing that takes the whole energy from a sun. It sucks the sun energy out of that solar system and then directs it at the system itself. What do you say? And I could see a scientist in this meeting going, sir, you realize if you just take out the sun, the planets will just spin off, thus killing the inhabitants. Shut up, science! The hell is wrong with you, science? I'm trying to create jobs. Fulfilling the legacy of Emperor Trump. You remember? Remember when he first started the empire? And he said, let's make America great again? Well, now we're making the empire great again. Don't listen to this idiot. It's science. Who believes in science anymore? What do you say, sir? Well, I don't know. That's a lot of credits we got to spend on a weapon system. When I fucking get you outside, science, I swear to God. And that's how I feel about how that was. I think it was just a big stealing of that, because the weapon system shouldn't have been that hard to prove.
I felt like I was there.
Right?
That was beautiful.
How do they, I know they're clones and they're building things, whatever they're building, and they have the whole, industry and trade federation to build all that shit and all those slaves and guys, but come on, really? Is that your answer to everything? Just a bigger version of it will kill everybody? Snore.
Wow, wow. Okay, well, on that note, what's your name?
My name is Rob, and it's about to get a lot worse.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on. I'm going to do a prediction. Donkey show.
not quite, though you did tell us it was a girl donkey.
Okay.
I was brought a little late into the Clerks universe here, so I'm kind of curious, what is a cock stain? What does cock stain mean to you? And what experience have you had with cock stains?
Very deep, sir. Very deep. No, that was the answer. You have to go very deep to get the cock stained. And there's your answer.
How often
All
do you
right,
get
next
asked
question.
that?
There you go.
What's your name?
Scott.
Scott.
Coming from such an iconic movie as Clerks was, and being it was indie film and trying to get buzz created for it, now we have Netflix, picking up indie films left and right and being able to, create buzz for those movies, and they become instant hits with a trailer that hits YouTube. What do you think about filmmaking now for indie movie directors as opposed to then with Clerks?
It's a lot harder now to get seen. It's easy to make films. It's easy in the sense to make a film and they're like, easy? That's not easy. It's not easy, but it is easy. The technology to make films is a lot easier to access. Anybody who with a DSLR that can shoot video, especially 24 frames, something like that, you can do film quality, 1080p quality films that are easily transferable onto screen and stuff like that. So making a film has gotten easier. Having your film being seen is the tough part, because there's so many outlets now to steal the attention of everybody. You can see a film while just looking at your phone, while on the plane. You can watch a film anywhere. So I attend a lot of film festivals as well, and sometimes I'm on a jury to pick winners and stuff. And you literally, do you know the day after you've had Thanksgiving, a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and if you've had corn to eat, the next day you've eaten corn because it's still in your poop? That's what filmmaking is now. You have to find those little nuggets of really good, wholesome films surrounded by a lot of bullshit. It's serious. So you have outlets like YouTube and Hulu and Netflix and Vudu and Zoobity-Doo and yibbity-yabbity-yabbity-ya. Like everywhere you can have it screened. It's a matter of targeting it correctly and getting it seen. Now I say do it. Make your film, tell your story. You never know who's going to pick it up. I'm like, that speaks to me. Because even if something doesn't speak to you, make what you know, and someone will say, yeah, I feel exactly like you. And that's exactly what Kevin did. He did what he knew. He says, I don't see anybody represented to me on screen. If anybody's seen an interview with him, he says it all the time. Like, I never saw anybody who represented me on film, what me and my friends talk about. Like, whatever happened to the contractors at the Death Stars? Shit like that. Or cockstain, and how deep do you go for one? Things like that have troubled his mind are what made him say, I want to make that movie. And thankfully, there's a lot of people who have the exact same twisted thoughts that we did. And so, like I said, make your film, and if you want to see it, have it seen, it's going to be the thing. It depends on how you market it and who believes in it and how it gets done. It's a lot of noise out there with not a lot of way of knowing it. Like, I'm so far behind on so many mainstream type of TV shows and films and TV series. Like, this weekend, the Game of Thrones starts up again, and I'm like on season 3 because there's so many other things that steal your focus as to what's going on, you know what I mean? So, but do it. If you want to make one, especially, make it.
Oh. Is he gonna talk?
How many times did I tell you about dealing in front of the store?
You look amazing. Oh.
He's dying under there.
I'm sure.
I saw him earlier. I said, you must be dying under that wool coat. He goes, I am.
Anyway, yes, I do speak. Don't tell anybody. In Clerks and Clerks 2,
Is there a specific reason Kevin had you painting fingernails and toenails? Or is he just weird like that?
Actually, in the first one, it was my idea to paint the fingernails. We were looking, he was like, I want you two sitting down behind, like you're sitting between her legs, and then you're just talking. And it just felt too stagnant. It's like, we need to do something. Like, he wanted me to think, like, go through work stuff. And I was like, I don't know, what if I don't know, painted her nails? Like, her arms are here already. Like, what if I just started painting her nails? Like, oh, all right. Marilyn, do you have nail polish? And she's like, I do. And so that's where that started. And so many, it was weird, so many female fans kind of like, oh, that's so cute. In talking to Kevin over the years, that when it was time to make the Clerks 2, he's like, let's do it again, but this time you're doing toenails. I'm like, all right, works for me. Rosario Dawson's foot fetish thing? All right, works for me.
Yeah, sweet. And what smells like shoe polish?
You son. Make sure you Febreze that coat for tomorrow. For all of us. Because you don't want to be called Stinky Bob.
So the movie, from what I read, originally had an NC-17 rating. So what process did you guys have to go through in order to get it changed to R?
Well, Miramax had hired world-famous lawyer, before he was world-famous at that point, Alan Dershowitz, also known as one of the lawyers for O.J. Simpson, who's also on CNN a lot these days, talking about what's legal and not about the whole Russiagate thing. And so he worked for Miramax, he was on retainer, he went and appealed to the MPAA and said, the reason you are giving, this is the first film ever to receive an NCAA that has no violence, no graphic nudity, only on spoken word are you giving this an NC-17 rating. And so they agreed that, yeah, this is just bullshit, and they overturned it. So we then donated the certificate that said NC-17 to the Hard Rock movie restaurant in New York City. So in some vault somewhere, or one of the Hard Rock cafes, is the certificate from the MPAA that says Clerks, NC-17.
And do you think it had anything to do with the original ending or the alternate ending from the film?
Oh no, I think that was the most mild. Shooting Dante in the end was the most mild thing in that film, if you ask me. I think it had to talk about snowballing. I think it had to do where the one guy was highly offended about us talking about jizz moppers. And when the guy's like, I'm highly offended, where Randall goes, oh, if you think that's offensive, check out this. I think you can see her kidneys. And not realizing, we shot it in 16 millimeter, right, which is a small film. When they blew it up to 35 millimeter and seeing it on a big screen that, check out this, I think you can see her kidneys, you almost could have seen her kidneys. It was that clear. I was just like, oh, wow. I didn't think we could get that much. So I think that's why they changed it. Plus it was films that you weren't discussing subjects like that. It was a film that didn't discuss snowball. I didn't even hear it. I had no idea what snowballing was until I read it in the script. I was just like, oh my God, is this really a thing? And Kevin's like, oh yeah. I'm like, how do you know this? Like, I've read it. What?
I mean, I think that's how a lot of us learned a lot of things, was through Clerks. But what would you say is the question that you get asked the most?
Are you even supposed to be here today?
No, I snuck in.
That's the one I get all the time. Are you even supposed to be here today? Oh, you. If I had $25 every time I heard that.
How much would you have?
I don't know. I'll tell you by the end of the weekend.
Oh. So we do have some time for some more questions. If you guys have more questions, now is the time. I know it's a little menacing that the microphone's all the way up here, but...
You could shout it out if you're loud enough.
All right, we're changing rules.
Oh, all of a sudden I'm breaking rules.
That's okay. You can
Yeah,
be
come on
breaker.
up. Here she comes. When is this over?
15 more minutes. What's your name?
Crystal.
Hey, you came. You said you were only going to come up. You could. Yeah, it's a little loud.
Yeah.
So do you think Clerks, when you started, corrupted you from who you were before? Like...
Did it corrupt me?
Yeah, like your personality, how dirty your mind
first of all,
went.
it did corrupt Kevin because he wasn't a cigarette smoker at all when we started shooting Clerks, and then he became a cigarette smoker. So I know it corrupted him in that way. I wouldn't say it corrupted me, but it definitely opened people to me to discuss anything the fuck they felt came to their mind. Like, no one is going up to Lee Majors this weekend going like, so what do you think? Is it okay to go ass to mouth? Like, you don't...
Can someone do that?
You don't do that to that guy. It's more like, well, how much do you think you'd be worth today, adjusting for inflation? Would you be more than $6 million? I'd call you'd be about $1.5 billion man today, wouldn't you? Although Google will just automate you, and then we don't even need you anymore, $6 million man. We'll have to use that sound effect on someone else.
I feel like someone's going to ask him that now.
Oh, don't.
He's a nice old man.
I think he can still punch you out, though.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, don't. Yeah. Is it okay to go ass to mouth? What about a 2-foot black dildo? Then you're banned from the show, and then you have it on your record. The reason for the restraining order is you went over to Lee Majors saying, "Hey, is it okay to?"
Well, if you're going to get a restraining order, that's the way to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, but then your bail is going to be $6 million, and they're just going to do it just out of the fun of it. Your Honor, I asked for $6 million bail. Granted. Dunk. Have fun in there, nerd boy.
Which other celebrities here this weekend were you most excited to see?
That's a good question. Well, I'm always excited. I mean, I've known him for a while now. I'm always excited to see Michael Rooker. Rooker is a fun guy. He's just a ball of fun. Dana Snyder is always fun. He was just up here the last Q&A. He's a lot of fun to hang out with. As far as somebody I need to actually want, oh my God, I got to meet them. I've met a lot of these people on the circuit now the past couple of years, but they're all great. I really can't nail one down. What about you?
That's like the most PC answer that you've said.
I know,
so far.
and that's not me. I'm not really PC, but I'm thinking, it's not like I'm just like, oh my God, so-and-so is here. What about you?
I mean, this is pretty exciting. Thank you. One clap.
Oh, all right.
One clap. I mean, you know what? It's definitely a different change of pace because my friend was just hosting a Power Rangers panel next door, which, is very G-rated, and they're morphing. And then we come here, and now we're talking about ass to mouth.
Was JDF here?
He is here, but it was for a yellow Neo Ranger.
Okay.
And Diva Tags.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know JDF's here, and I'm just wondering, is he here yet? So
maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not tracking him. I'm only stalking you.
No.
So.
Although there was someone stalking him, and that got
yes, that's a whole different story.
Exactly. That's why I asked. So.
Yikes. All right.
Now a question.
Yeah, another question. Can you think of any scene you've had from any of the filmings of the Kevin Smith movies that you've had to do so many takes on that you guys just keep laughing and can't get it straight?
Ooh. There's a lot of that happens with Kevin's stuff, especially in the rehearsal process, where we're just crying, laughing about certain things, and then someone will egg on somebody else to do or say something, and things like that. I mean, the filming of the donkey scene, we got a lot of funny shit out ahead of time before we brought the animal in. Once we brought the animal in, it was like we had to get to business because we didn't want to spook the animal. We wanted to get as much done as quickly as possible because we were praying it didn't take a shit or a piss right in the middle of the restaurant, because then that's a cleanup time and a waste of time and money and all this other stuff. So we did a lot of laughing about that. I mean, it was fun watching the dance sequences going on below us for the whole dance number in Clerks 2. That's the thing, once Kevin starts busting shit up, or Jay especially starts fucking with people, Jay was a notorious prankster on sets, especially Clerks 2, that were a lot of fun. He'd mess with Rosario Dawson. We took over a Days Inn motel next to the movies, which if you see the scene where the two stoners come up to buy weed in the very beginning of the movie from Jay, you'll see the hotel right in the background. And so we used that. Instead of trailers for everybody to stay in, we took over the hotel as our, trailers and stuff. So Jay had this one room, and he would always go to the local Target or Walmart and buy a bigger screen TV and a huge stereo system and a gaming system to have in his room while he's chilling out. And I remember we're all waiting for a setup going on, and we're all in our rooms on the second level. And he would always watch movies or play something with his door open. And so one time we're walking by, And he goes, Rosario, come here, I want to show you something. What, Jay? Come here, I want to show you something. And we walk in, and Jay on this giant screen TV has the scene from Alexander, that movie Alexander, where she's rocking what's-his-name's world completely. And she's like riding him and riding. He's like, I love this movie you're in. And she's like, Jay, come on. Awkward, weird. Which I always said, Jay should now apply for the Trump administration. He'd fit right in.
Zing.
Because they okay with it. It's good. Does it all the time. And he's famous, so they allow it. Yes, sir.
On the same subject, what do you typically do on the con circuit when you see Lord of the Rings cosplay people?
So see, I'm a fan of the Lord of the Rings series, so I know Kevin is like, it's just a movie about walking. And I've become friends with a lot of the people who portray the characters in the film, so it's been really cool hanging out with them. Like, I nerd out whenever I see anybody from the Lord of the Rings films at the cons. I kind of nerd out myself. So it is kind of funny. I do have fans come up as like, who do the whole like, do the and walk away. I mean, they'll do it in front of my table and I get it. But I'm actually a fan of the movies. I'm a fan of the books. I think Peter Jackson did an amazing job directing it. Yes, the original trilogy is Star Wars on film. But when you think about it, I mean, book-wise, Lord of the Rings was written way, way before that. So you can get into that nerd argument or the Star Trek, Star Wars nerd argument, which I find just like, look, dude, it doesn't matter. It's all science fiction as long as can't we all just get along? Oh, good. You're here to take over? Sweet.
Yes, I am. I'm Brian.
What's up, sir? You're the taller, darker version of me.
What do Rosario Dawson's lips feel like?
Let's make a comparison. Come here. I'm just gonna...
He's coming out. Okay.
No.
I'll protect you.
I don't remember the Valtrex joke, but...
Oh, man.
It's all you.
So we still have a few more minutes. So do you have any projects coming up or any theater that you've been working on?
A few things coming up. The thing that just got released a couple of weeks ago, this past week, is a movie called Bad Frank. It's a very extremely violent mob movie with Tom Sizemore. I make a cameo in it as a medium-level drug lord, and it's epically violent. That's the thing that's really getting a buzz on it. So that's on iTunes and Amazon. It's called Bad Frank. I did a couple of weeks on Jason Mewes' new movie that he wrote and directed called Madness and the Method. That comes out this fall. He's in post-production right now. We have Jay and Silent Bob reboot that I'll be filming in September. So that'll be the next thing for that. We haven't been given the scripts. No one has been given the scripts. I think the only ones who really have read it is like Scott Mosier, Jason Mewes, Kevin, obviously, Kevin's wife, and a few others. I haven't been brought in yet. I haven't been given my copy of the script yet. I was just told, be ready to start shooting in September. I'm like, okay. I have a couple of, there's a celebrity roast going to happen of me back in New Jersey in September. We haven't picked a date yet, but if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, Brian C. O'Halloran on both, you can find out more information about that. And the money goes to a charity called the Brody Fund, which is a pet charity that funds medical expenses for cancer treatment for pets. So the money goes to a really great cause.
So you're getting roasted?
I'm getting roasted.
Do you know who's
we have Ming Chen, Ernie O'Donnell, Scott Schiaffo, who was the Chuli's Gum guy. We have Brian Johnson will be roasting, a few other stand-up comics from the New York City area. I know Kevin's going to be in town shooting parts of the Comic Book Men during that week, so maybe we'll get someone to do that. As a matter of fact, I have someone actually going to different celebrity guests here at the con to say something funny that they're video recording on a phone that will play in between other guests, live guests coming on, so that'll be fun. So that'll be in the Highlands in New Jersey sometime in early September. I'll be posting information once we've confirmed some people on that. And then a couple other films that I'm in talks right now. I can't confirm anything right now. So, and theater-wise, I haven't been able to do anything theater-wise, but I have been able to do a bunch of stand-up appearances places. So another thing, best way to do it is follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, to find me on that to see what I'm doing next.